Find an expert more dedicated than John Clayton. He's the consummate pro.
We'll see how the 4-3 and the cover 3 work together.
John Clayton with the latest.
Thanks, Dan. Take care.
And whenever we need a brilliant insight, he's available at the drop of a hat.
Hey, Mom! I'm done with my segment!
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Barry, That Goat Metal Show, on today, Sunday, March 20th, 2022. Alright, after you just saw that small little clip there, fortunately that's the passing of John Clayton. Anybody who's not really into sports, I guess John Clayton was an NFL insider on ESPN, and he was, from my understanding, he was a metalhead. He was an actual metalhead. 67 years old. Died too young in my book, and he made that commercial, Slayer, and everybody was ecstatic about that commercial when it came out, and he's got many of kudos from all metalheads from all walks of life who's given that man many props for that, and that commercial will live on in infamy. So rest in peace, John Clayton. Thank you for being a sports fan and a metalhead, and let's just hope that you get a lot of kudos along the way through all the other metal bands that know you, okay? Alright. Also, I want to give a shout out to my man Richie, the silent producer. Always sending me some information, giving me up to date on certain news and topics I could bring out to you guys. Always want to give that man his props, because if it isn't for the silent producer, I wouldn't be having some of the stuff that I have here today, okay? He went yesterday to go see Immolation perform in New York City, and from some of the pictures he sent me and some stuff, man, it was a fantastic show. I didn't make it out yesterday. I was taking care of a lot of businesses, had to do my taxes and all this other adult stuff that we do when we get to this age. But I'm hoping that I get a chance to try to catch some shows. I think there's a free show coming up next Saturday. With Sub-Zero and my boy Chucky and Crazy Eddie. They're performing over here in Dobbs Ferry. Free show. Anybody want to get up there? There's a Sawmill Tavern in Dobbs Ferry, and it's a free show. You can't go wrong with a free hardcore show, man. Just go over there, buy a couple of beers, have a good time. All right. Okay. In some news, speaking of John Clayton. I'm sorry, I say Heyman. John Clayton. Being an avid metalhead, there was some talks recently that just came out about Travis Barker, right? And he is engaged to Kourtney Kardashian, and there was something about her wearing a Cannibal Corpse shirt, and there's been a lot of things that have been going on with us metalheads when we see people who are not even associated with metal or have no clue about the band, just put on the shirt because they feel it looks cool. And they even went to the extreme of actually taking some band imagery or and putting it part of designer clothes and charging ridiculous prices, which I find to be ridiculous. I mean, look, I'm not gonna sit here and gatekeep anything. Look, do I feel like you want to go and put yourself out there wearing a shirt that you have no clue of? Go ahead. Don't just be surprised when somebody asks you a question you have no clue. You're gonna look like an idiot. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna go over there and wear any freaking pop shirt of shit I don't listen to and just wear it just because it looks cool. But anyway, it is what it is. Look at me, I sound like a gatekeeper, right? It is what it is. Look, I get Travis trying to defend his fiance, and it was one of his shirts. I mean, I don't even know why you have a Cannibal Corpse shirt, because you claim to be like it. But anyway, that's a different thing right there, of a gatekeeping moment. Whatever, man, whatever. But look, it is what it is. They're gonna keep doing that. I mean, I remember there was this big uproar some years back in the '90s where metalheads and punk, hardcore kids, we all wore wallet chains with the chain hanging out inside, and all of a sudden, it became trendy with people in hip hop and all that, and we started noticing that, and it was just such a big uproar. some of my friends who remember when we were in high school going through and we were noticing that, man, we were so pissed. It was like, that's our stuff. That's ours, and it just got so ridiculous. It got so ridiculous at some point where it was like we were pointing everything out. But after a while, it was a trend. It went by. Not too many people are wearing wallet chains anymore. I mean, I haven't worn a wallet chain in God knows how long. But I guess it's not as big as it used to be. But still a great way to hold your money, right? Also, there was some news about our man, Phil Anselmo. He was interviewed where he was saying about, I guess he's just on this thing where he's just going to keep putting out music or he wants to do things and whatnot. So he, I think, wants to go back to his old roots of his singing, so he wants to get into like that more of the Rob Halford style, Judas Priest style of singing, and I guess back from the early days of the Pantera power metal days where he more high pitched vocals and singing, and he could do it. We know he could do it, but it's been so long. I don't know how it's gonna sound now. I guess we'll just have to hear how he's sounding now, and we'll make that determination. But I have no problem with that. I mean, I'm not sure who he's going to get to do this. I'm sure it's going to be some type of all-star cast of people he's going to try to put together. And, people who probably got nothing better to do but to say, hey, let's make an album and, have a Judas Priest influenced. Sure, it'll be a nice little tour, make a few dollars for him, and then he'll move on to something else. All right. In other news as well, going outside of the metal topic, but, not too many, Dolly Parton, I'm sure, whoever doesn't even, they know Dolly Parton. She's a country singer from way back. She's still, pretty relevant in the genre and stuff, pretty famous still. And I think they wanted to put her down in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? So she respectfully bowed out. She wrote a letter or whatever. Now, what's giving everybody in the hard rock and metal community praise to Dolly Parton is the fact that she's doing that is because, let's just say what it is. I mean, look, rock and roll, nobody, if you feel you're doing some type of rock and roll was pretty much for everybody, but your rock, metal, in that general, it still has its distinctions. I mean, let's look at the fact that, Iron Maiden got snubbed. I still don't get how Maiden is snubbed. I don't get it. You put Jay-Z before Maiden. It didn't make any sense. And Dolly Parton, country got their own thing. I'm sure hip hop, they all have their own. Rock and roll should just stay in its entity. I mean, look, it's not to say you shouldn't have inclusion, but at the same token, if it's rock and roll, and hard rock and metal, and in that genre, it should be in that genre. Because let's look at it like this. Metallica did some stuff with Neil Young. I mean, should they go? You know what I'm saying? It's just it doesn't compute. I mean, it is what it is. But gotta give Dolly Parton a lot of credit. Give her a lot of credit, man. The old lady, she did her thing, man. Much props to you. And hopefully it just becomes a trend so that they can see, like, you know what? Let's just stick to what it is. And we've got to, I'm dying, look, man, just give people their due. Give people their due. All right. And okay, last but not least, just have Alyssa from Arch Enemy. I know Arch Enemy got a new album coming out. I think it's coming out in July. But Alyssa, she did a solo album, or she's either in the finishing touches of it or making it and so on. I guess a lot of these artists now are into this thing of wanting to do solo stuff. I mean, Corpse Grinder, Alyssa, whoever else is, Bruce Dickinson, all these people want to, and it's cool, if they want to do like their own thing. That's why I keep saying that, look, if you're in a certain type of band, right? I throw Whitechapel into that area of what I'm talking about. And you as a singer, you feel, okay, I feel I could do a lot more with my singing, or this is just not what it is for this right now. I still enjoy this. I want to keep doing this because this was making me money, but I want to do something outside of that. Then you do it separately. There's nothing wrong with that. Whitechapel, look, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that the stuff they did is bad. I think it's okay. Musically, I think it's great. It's good. It's good. It's good musically. Is it right for the genre? No. I still feel that if they want to get to that level, they should, either change the band name, change the whole thing, go and just that's it. Just leave the rough metal behind and get to something else, then whatever. But don't leave it in that same thing. I mean, I can't go to a Cannibal Corpse show, see you open up for Cannibal Corpse, and you singing about your feelings. That's not the show I want to go watch. Okay? Maybe if you're opening up for, I don't know, Skid Row or something, or Motley Crue, you want to go and do that set because you'll have the audience for it. They'll appreciate it. Again, not saying it's bad, just saying it's not a fit for that. I mean, look, I get it. You want to do what you want, but same token, nah, man. I still say you should do it, separately or do your own thing. Okay. But that's pretty much that. But look, guys, a lot of good stuff is coming out now. Everything's opening up again. We got Deicide, doing their tour. Massacre, I think, is actually coming on a tour too. The silent producer hooked me up with that info as well. A lot of good shows, a lot of good bands, a lot of new stuff coming out. I'm just happy that things is going along again for metal, okay, and for the metal community. Once again, guys, also, if you're in a band and you're listening to this and you want me to do a review, I have no problems doing a review. Free talk about your stuff. You ain't got to worry about anybody else. I'll put it out there, put links and all that. You let me know. Hey, I got no problem. We help each other out, okay? Also, again, if you're interested in merch, I have a merch store on Facebook, the Sith Lords merch. Not this, but I have other stuff there you can check out. And also, if you're into any of the geek stuff too, I also have another channel, the Sith Lords of Metalhead. It's just me talking about Star Wars and Marvel and all that cool shit. Okay? That's pretty much it right now, guys. I just hope that we continue to open up more and more. I really do. And once again, man, rest in peace to John Clayton. Another metalhead gone too soon. All right, guys, that's it for right now. This is Barry, That Goat Metal Show. Stay brutal.